Anthony Herbig here with a Mooney girls lacrosse player profile. I am joined by their goalie, Alyssa Ray. Alyssa, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
Like we said, goalie, and one of the things that we hear when we talk to whether it be lacrosse coaches, soccer coaches, even hockey coaches, they always tell us that goalies take a special mindset that they can't coach. It's either there or it's not. So I want to ask you about your mindset in the goal. Obviously, you've been a very successful goalie in your career. So what kind of mindset do you take into protecting the net for Mooney Lacrosse?
Yeah, it's definitely a mental game, and Tony and McKenna tell me that all the time. Just if they score, let it go, and just keep working towards set a number and work towards that. So each save is just something closer to my goal.
When you kind of get ready for a game, is there like a mindset that you want to get into before the game starts that you want to try to lock in with?
I would say just the number on the scoreboard doesn't matter. Just have fun and do what you can to protect your team. And it's more about my team than reaching my own personal goal. So I think I just like to think about my team and how hard my offense is working and kind of stand up for them again with my defense.
Since your team first, let's talk about this team. They've had a really good year. You're above 500. You started the year off really good, hit a little bit of a rough patch, and then bounced right back from it. So, what's been the roller coaster like this year on this team, and how have you managed to get past that adversity that you had in the middle of the season?
I think it's just taking it one game at a time and not thinking too much about the game going into it. Just don't be too confident for some games and don't be too scared for the other ones. So just go in with a neutral mindset and just play the game we all know how to play.
Take us through the personality of this team. What's it like to be on it? What kind of personalities does it feature? We get to see it when everything means business, right on the field. But I'm sure off the field and in practices and things like that, there's a lot of personality in this group. Take us through it and kind of what it's like being on the team with all these girls.
Yeah, so I'd say we're all really close with each other. We have great chemistry. I know Ella and Addison work great together. There's a lot of good friendships on the team. Peyton and Abby and Maria, Angelia, Manuela. I mean, we all just kind of click, and every practice and game is just fun. No matter if we're winning or losing, we all just have fun together.
What do you contribute to that chemistry? I mean, not something you can force on a team. It's either going to happen or it's not. What does this team do so well that you think helps it, build that chemistry?
I think it's our coaches. Our coaches really just allow us to have that fun, and they kind of like to encourage the team bonding and just being all together all the time. So it's really great. And even on the buses, we play games, and the bus rides when we go up to these big Cleveland teams just really brings us together a lot more, I think.
Those are long bus rides. Take us through kind of the typical long bus ride for Mooney Lacrosse. You said you might play some games. I'm sure there's some music being played, maybe some singing being done. What are the long bus rides like for this Mooney Lacrosse team?
Well, I'm in charge of bringing the speaker, so I always have my speaker along. Some people bring their AirPods. We play some card games. That game Heads Up on the phone. We always like to play that, and then it's always just fun to sing and dance around after a win too on the way home.
That's a mighty big responsibility being in charge of the speaker.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you guys like to listen to on the bus ride up? And then the follow up question to that is the music on the ride up different than the music ride on the ride coming back?
It kind of just depends on the mood. Like you can tell when everybody's like a little bit like trying to relax on the way to the game. So we play like SZA, but then if it's like a big game, like a short ride to Borman or Poland, we definitely do play like the rap music. And then on the way home, it's all rap, and we do have some songs that are like they have to be played. It's just a
it's
go-to.
it's got to be done. Are there any songs that you personally can go to no matter what the situation is that get you really really hyped up and really ready for a game?
I would say we all like Flashing Lights and Heartless. Uh, just rap definitely gets us pumped up before a game.
Now, when we talk to baseball and softball players, one of the things we ask them is walk-up songs. What song defines them in their athletic, personality. Obviously, you're not walking up to the plate in lacrosse, but you are walking out to a lineup and you are getting introduced and things like that. If you could have like a walkout song, something to introduce you to let the whole crowd know what your personality is, what do you think your walkout song would be?
I would probably say Bring 'Em Out.
When you think of the bus rides again, okay, after a big win, long bus ride, what's that like to be able to celebrate with this team that you've already told us is so close?
I mean, I think it's just a moment that we'll all cherish forever, even after we graduate, because The seniors are always in the back of the bus, so kind of looking up from the front of the bus for the seniors in the back, just looking at how much fun they're having, and just looking up to them is all just it's great to be together after a win.
Now, you're not a senior yet, but you are an upperclassman this year, which means you have been able to get a few more leadership responsibilities than maybe you had the last 2 seasons. What's that been like for you now, being an upperclassman and being one of the elders on the team, and maybe someone that some of the younger girls look up to?
Yeah, it's definitely awesome to look at the freshmen and sophomore girls and even help some of the newer junior girls. It's awesome, but I am the only goalie, so there's not really much I can teach to anybody else. But I love to help out defense when I can and just help them kind of see the field because I have a view of everything. So I guess that's nice to help everybody out.
When you think of things that made you a little bit nervous, maybe about being a leader this year, were there any nerves about having to step up in your leadership capabilities and getting older and those things that come with being a junior?
I would say the more challenging games definitely do make me nervous, but I tend to do better when I'm more nervous. So I guess just seeing everybody else on the field just be cool, calm, and collected kind of helps me relax, and I like to kind of do the same for them. So that kind of works out.
Everyone does nerves differently. Everyone deals with nerves differently. What do you do to kind of make those butterflies in your stomach go away?
Well, I know we just played a great team, CVCA, and they have a girl who's phenomenal. She hit her 100 goals this season. So, um, just working together on defense, I would say that's really important for us. And just talking, we always like to talk after we get a goal score on us. We talk, say what went wrong, what can we do better, what can we fix, and then we go for the draw circle and reassess.
You're bringing up your opponent's milestones, but you've hit a couple of milestones yourself. I hear 300 goals and 300 saves and counting. Not goals. Goals are wrong. 300 saves and counting
Yeah.
inside the net. What's that been like for you to have so much success and to be able to hit those milestones that I'm sure you have worked so hard to achieve?
Yeah, the beginning of last year was my first season. So I'd never played lacrosse and never knew much about it because my school I went to Ursuline my freshman year. So I didn't know much about lacrosse. So coming in my sophomore year, Tony was like, "We need a goalie. Can somebody step up?" So I said, "Sure. I'll try it." So I tried it and I fell in love with it. I love like definitely hurts here and there, but I love it. I wouldn't want to play another position. My heart's in the goal.
What made you want to try out lacrosse in the first place? Like, what were some of the things that said, "Okay, I want to go and just see what this sport's all about"?
Um, Mooney's lacrosse program wasn't too big last year, so I knew they needed girls on the team and girls to fill. And I played volleyball with Tony, so she was my coach for volleyball. So I figured why not give it a try. If I don't like it, I could always switch to something else. But I love it. So
So she recruited you a little bit in the
yeah,
volleyball season. Hey, come on,
yeah.
come be with us a little bit. What was the moment? Was if there was a moment that you can remember that you really did fall in love with it, and you turned from someone that was trying it out to someone that was taking it seriously enough to get to the milestones that you have?
I would say when I hit my first milestone of my 100 saves, it was right around the same time that Angelina Rotuno last year hit her 100 goals. So we got to celebrate that together, and it was a lot bigger of a celebration for us. So that was really great.
This is a great story because you got kind of just stepped right onto the field your sophomore season last year, and you already have 300 saves. I mean, it's not something that a lot of people can just pick up and do. What are some of the big reasons why you've been able to have so much success so quickly in your career?
I think it's just my coaches and the way they jumped in. They were ready to help and they were willing to be accepting that there's going to be mistakes and I'm going to be like confused sometimes, I guess you could say. But they were just so understanding and they always just, no matter how bad the game was or how bad I was doing, I guess, they always just encouraged me and said, "You got this one, next one's yours, you got the save." So they were always just there for me. And my team, again, my defense just really, if I get a goal scored on me, they're right there. They pat my back, they say, "You're good. It was our fault too." So there's never a finger pointed on our team. It's always like we take the blame, we talk about it, and we talk about what we did wrong together.
We talked earlier about how Coach Shaheen kind of guided you to lacrosse, but obviously there are attributes to her and things that you like about being coached by her that made you want to go to another sport that she coached. What is it about Coach Shaheen that makes her so special to you and made you want to be coached by her, not just for volleyball but for lacrosse too?
Yeah, Tony's just awesome. Her personality, she's just fun to be around. Even McKenna too. They're fun together. So it's just like a combo. They come together and they're amazing coaches, and I wouldn't want anybody else.
Are there any differences between Coach Shaheen as a volleyball coach and Coach Shaheen as a lacrosse coach?
Um, I don't really know. She knows her stuff and she's just really great all across the board and she loves to get us in on these interviews and I know she just likes to cheer for us. She's our biggest supporter, so it's really great to be with her.
The sport of lacrosse is growing very rapidly in the valley. You guys have to travel less and less every year. Last year, I felt like you were on the road basically every day. This year, you're a couple more local teams you're able to play and not have to travel. But what does it mean to you to see, other schools and other players and other girls really be interested in this sport that you've now come to fall in love with?
I mean, it's awesome because those bus rides definitely take a toll on you because you get there and you're after you just sat for an hour, it's kind of hard to get up and go run around. But I have some family members that play on some teams in the valley, and it's great to just be able to play against them and see them coming up into the high school level and play against them. It's really fun.
Oh, you're playing against a family member. I mean, what kind of bragging rights are on the line in those kind of games?
Yeah, my cousin Carly Gurst plays for Campfield, and she's an amazing midfielder. I mean, she just has such great skill for only a sophomore, and it's really fun to play against her.
How much do you think you've learned about the sport in just 2 years of playing? I mean, do you think you're where you want to be as far as lacrosse IQ goes?
I mean, I feel like I learn something new every game and every practice. So it's just putting it, there's a lot to do. So putting it all together and actually doing it, it does take a lot of practice. And I don't ever want to stop learning and I don't ever want to stop getting better. So I don't think I'll ever be like happy with where I'm at. I always want to keep getting better and just taking that step forward and just, yeah.
When we talk to juniors, we have to talk about the process of starting to think about your future a little bit. You still have your senior year, but it's that time when you have to start thinking about, where do you want to go? What do you want to do in college? What kind of career do you want to see yourself in? When you start thinking about that kind of stuff, what comes to mind of as far as what kind of colleges you want to go to, what you want to study, what career you want to go into? Maybe you do want to play a sport in college, maybe you don't. What kind of things come to mind when you think about your future?
I mean, I would definitely love to play lacrosse in college, but I do want to go to school for nursing, which is pretty competitive and can be hard at sometimes. So maybe I might lean towards more of like a club lacrosse team, just so I could focus more on school. But I would definitely love to learn more about recruiting and just seeing what college lacrosse is like and go and talk to some coaches and colleges around here, especially YSU. YSU is a great team.
So you're sitting here and you know that you want to be on a nursing track in college, which means you've been. It sounds like you've been sure about that for a little bit. What drew you to that career? What makes you want to go into that field?
I just love helping people around me. I mean, I feel like I always put other people before myself. And my mom works in the medical field. So I just love to see her helping everybody and the smile that she comes home with on her face. I mean, it's great. And it really just encourages me. And my sister's in pharmacy school. So I really just want to do something medical and be able to help people around me.
You brought up two of your family members. Let's talk about them and how much they support you and what it means to have them behind your back in this new lacrosse journey that you've been on the last 2 years.
Yeah, so lacrosse is definitely new to them too. So it's a learning experience. Like my mom definitely has questions for me after the games, like, "Oh, what'd you do here? What'd you do there?" So I definitely have to teach her too. So it's fun to be able to encourage, or for them to encourage me, and I can teach them a little bit too.
I'm sure not only do you have to teach your mom and your family, but you have to teach some of your classmates at Mooney. I'm sure you get a lot of questions about lacrosse from people that don't play it. What do you think is the most asked question from a non-lacrosse player or someone that doesn't know the sport about lacrosse?
I've definitely heard like, is lacrosse like an actual sport? Because I've only ever seen it in movies. So people just ask me if it's like a real sport. I guess.
Nah, we just play for fun on the weekends. It's not really a
Yeah,
sport. We're just out here doing whatever.
yeah.
One of the things I like to ask Mooney players is the family atmosphere, not just the team, but also the athletics room. I mean, every athlete we bring on from Cardinal Mooney talks about how this school and how this athletics department is just the biggest family ever. What's your perspective on that? Being a member of the lacrosse team and the volleyball team as well, the just the camaraderie between all the athletes in the school.
I mean, the Mooney family is definitely something that's real. I mean, you wouldn't understand until you come here. My freshman year at Ursula, and I heard about the Mooney family, and I didn't really know what that meant until I was here and I was living in it, and I loved it. And it just felt everybody's just so caring about everybody else, and it was just great to always have a teammate to pat you on the back.
You go into that gym, and as an athlete, you see all those championship banners. What's that like? All the different sports too. I mean, everyone talks about the football, and obviously it has its own tradition of winning in Cardinal Mooney. But there are a lot of banners for a lot of sports in that gym. What's it like being in that gym for you, especially during volleyball season? And you see all the championship banners that you have to look at every night and every practice.
I mean, it's definitely just a huge encouragement, and we just look up for those banners and we just say that we hope we can get one of those and maybe get one of those patches on our letterman jacket one of these days.
How much would it mean to you to put a lacrosse banner up in that gym?
That would be awesome because we do play some hard teams and even come up in playoffs here. We're going to face some teams, but it's definitely going to challenge us. But I think we could make it through if we all just work together and fight.
All right, Alyssa, my last question for you is obviously we went over your milestones and you've reached a lot of your goals that you probably set at the beginning of the season and the beginning of your career. So, my new question is what are some new goals that you have right now that you're trying to accomplish, whether it be by the end of the season or by next year or whatever it may be? What are some new goals that you set for yourself now that you've accomplished so many already?
I would definitely say 500 saves by the end of next year is something huge for me. And I think about it every game. I think no matter how many points we're down by, I just think it's one closer to getting 500. So that's my motivation, really.
All right, Alyssa, I want to give you the chance to give people shout outs that really support you and mean a lot to you and the people you wouldn't be on this journey without before we let you go.
Yeah, I just want to thank my mom, my sister, my boyfriend, my team, especially my coaches, and everybody around me that supports me and really cares for me.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We wish you the best of luck in the rest of this season, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Thank you so much.